Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about an email I received from Harold. And I've been getting a ton of these emails from different people. Interesting topics, interesting subjects. But Harold, let's dive into this email that he sent me. So we'll bypass all the hellos and how you doing, how much I love your channel. Thank you. He says, 2 weeks ago, I started talking with a lady from Davao City. We are in a long-distance relationship, and we plan to meet in December around Christmas time. She's almost done with her degree in IT engineering. She is 24 years old, much younger than myself. I'm 54 years old. She is very close to her family, and her parents watch her very carefully. He also states that they've met on Christian Filipina, and he really enjoys how much she appreciates life. This is just the first part of the email. He has many questions that we'll address later, but first of all, Harold, 2 weeks doesn't make a relationship. And I'm going to rely on all the viewers and the people who leave comments to talk to Harold. Let him know what you think. And let's not attack him too much. Let's give him some good advice. Let's use some words of wisdom here. But Harold, 2 weeks, online chatting, you haven't met in person, and you're calling it a relationship. The age gap there of 54 to 24, being that I'm in a 37-year age gap, I don't find anything wrong with that. She's a college student, just about finished with college. She's on a dating site, as you said, Christian Filipina, and is looking for a relationship with a foreigner or Filipino, I don't know. But she is looking for one. So far, so good. You're coming in December to meet her. December's a rough travel month. It's Christmas. And going down to Davao, you're going to have to fly into Manila and catch another flight into Davao. It'll be an enjoyable time for you. I would schedule at least 2 weeks with your boots on the ground here when you come to Davao. But let's get a little bit more into this. He says, I have no delusional plans, but I would like to meet her. Her father is a farmer. Her mother cleans homes. She has 2 brothers and a sister. When I meet the parents, what is the appropriate gift for them? Now we're talking about Christmas time. First time you meet somebody, not too much, man. You got to set some ground rules early here. Don't be coming and flashing a lot of money. Bringing a ton of gifts. Do like most people do. Bring chocolates. Everybody loves chocolates. Bring candy. When you go to their house, when my ex-wife and I used to come to the Philippines and we would visit her family, aunts, uncles, siblings in the province, we would take a 100-kilo bag of rice with us. And that was our gift to the family. You might want to plan a meal where before you go to their home, before you go to where they live and see everything, check into a hotel in Davao. Stay in a hotel. And I know in the letter he states, in my follow-up letter to him, that he's going to stay in a hotel. He's not going to stay with the family or the girl. But invite them into town for dinner and expect to pay for all that. And go somewhere simple. Don't go to no 5-star restaurant. Don't go to no prime rib or Texas steakhouse. Go somewhere simple that has simple Filipino food, something the family would like. They'll leech on, or they serve rice type meals. We call them rice bowls, budget meals, or even the type that have the big platters and you share it, depending how big the family is. You're saying right there, it's about a 6-member family, immediate family. You don't know if they're going to bring any cousins, any other kids that the brother or sister has. You didn't mention if they were married and have children. But I would keep everything simple. You don't want to look like you're very rich. You don't want to give the wrong impression. But then again, you don't want to be a cheapskate. So invite them somewhere in the middle, dinner-wise. Nothing too cheap, don't do McDonald's, but something just above McDonald's would be great. Everybody loves Jollibees. Here in DUMAGUETE, we take large groups to a Lantau restaurant where you can feed a family of 10, 12, or 20 for $100, $200 at the max. And everybody would have plenty to eat and everybody would enjoy themselves. But don't come with lavish gifts. Don't come with gifts like jewelry and liquor, and just don't bring a lot of extravagant gifts. If you want to give the parents, find their size, bring them a nice t-shirt, you know, something US on it, or some sort of, you know, colorful t-shirt with something on there that's not so common that they would stand out a little bit and they might have pride in that. Clothing always works, food always works, but stay away from the expensive stuff. Don't be buying people phones, don't be buying them you know, stereo equipment, karaoke machines, you know, fancy jewelry, nothing of that nature. A little bit farther in the email, he says, I work for the federal government and I write contracts. So getting to the Philippines is limited, but still possible. I have no plans to do anything sexual until after we are married. I have morals and respect for her. Well, that's good, but let's be honest. You're a man, you're 54, you're not a real old man. You're still in a good time of your life where you're enjoying sexual relationships and the comfort of a woman. You've been talking to her for 2 weeks now. By the time Christmas comes on, you'll be talking for 7, 8 months. And of course, you're going to stay in a hotel. And of course, she's probably going to stay with you a few nights. She won't want you to be alone. If she really cares about you, she's not going to want you wandering around the city by yourself. She's not going to want you spending all the time by yourself. And she's going to stay with you. And if her family's in the province, farther out of town, what is she going to do? Take a bus every day in and out? No, she's going to end up staying with you. It's a great thing to say. You have morals. I don't blame you. Morals is a good thing. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. But as a man, you have to be realistic. She's probably going to be spending time with you. If she really likes you, she's going to want to latch onto you. She's going to want to put, I call it putting her mark on you by having sex with you and saying that we're in a committed relationship and this is what you're getting from me, and you know, we're sharing ourselves with each other. There's nothing wrong with that. Two grown adults mutually consenting to spending time together. There's nothing wrong with that at all. As for working for the government, only getting a few weeks off a year. You've been there a while, I'm going to think you get 3 to 4 weeks a year. If you're 54 and retirement is in 6, 7, 8 years, you're going to make many trips to the Philippines. I would be putting that, if this relationship works out, I'd be putting that in your budget that you'd be flying there once, maybe twice a year. Short trips are great. You want to constantly see this person if it's going to be a committed relationship. He says here, working in the U.S., I can provide for her and would be able to send money to her and her parents, but I don't want to break the bank account to support them. Definitely, definitely. Parents are not to be supported. You don't support the, quote, family. Now, when I say family, and a man is married, and I talk about his family, that's him, his wife, any children that are involved in the relationship. Either she was a single mom and has children, or you have children together. That's the family. That's the family that a man supports. A man does not support the mother, the father, the siblings, the cousins. The man makes donations to the family. You know, giving $40 or $80 a month to the family to help them out. If you feel obligated, do you feel the charity in you to give, then give. But don't make it a habit in the beginning. Don't give too much early. Give small amounts. And you personally don't give it. Have the girl give it to the family. You don't want to get in a position where later in life, you're going to say, man, I don't want to be giving that much money to the, to her family. I don't want to be donating so much. Say you decide, oh, I'm going to send them $400 every month. Because you're working, you think you can afford it, you want to send it to the mother and the father. They're going to end up expecting that every month. And the negative to that is if you break up, all of a sudden they've lost income that they've been used to and they've been relying on. The other part is, if you ever want to make it less, if you ever want to drop it down, say, oh, 400 is too much, I want to drop it down to $80, it's hard to go backwards. It's hard to take away. So you're better off small amounts. Here, give them 1,000 pesos, or when you're living here, if they come over and help you with a chore, they help you paint, they help you fix something, yeah, you give them 1,000 pesos, 500 pesos. That's how you support, quote, support the family. You just help them out. And if there's an emergency, you just give your share. You don't pay for everything. Don't pay for everything. Don't be the cash cow. Don't make life so easy for them because you have money and you start throwing at them that they don't work hard to make their money anymore. They're relying on you more than earning money. What would I expect to send to the parents monthly in the amount of pesos? Sort of just answer that, but if you're just in a long distance relationship and you're talking online, nothing, zero. You don't send anything to the family. You don't know the family yet. You haven't met them. You're not part of the family. You're just chatting somebody that you're going to meet in 6 or 7 months, and don't send the family anything. They were able to get by without you before you started chatting with their daughter, and they'll be able to get by without you if you quit the relationship, if you break up, if she decides she doesn't like you anymore. And, don't have that you're sending money to the parents, something that makes her stay with you, not because she loves you or cares for you, but now her parents are forcing her to stay with you because you're sending them money every month. So that's a very slippery slope. If you're out of the country, you're in your home country, and you're on an online relationship with somebody, a long distance relationship we call it, don't send the family any money. Do not. Zero is the word I use. As for the girl, he asked, what is adequate for me to send the girl? Well, how is she surviving before you? Now, you said she was a student. Did she have a part-time job? Did she have a sponsor? Did a member of the family pay for her schooling? Is the family wealthy? I don't know the family dynamics. You said he's a farmer and she's a house cleaner. I don't think it's a wealthy family, but it might be a middle-class family. I don't know how much land they own. I don't know anything about them, but how much is adequate to send? I always think 10,000 pesos is the most money I would ever send a girl online if I was to do it all over again. It's more than enough, knowing what things cost here in the Philippines, knowing the budget system of Filipino families, sending her 10,000 if you really have to. If you feel so guilty that you have a job and you're making good money and she doesn't have any money, nothing more than 10,000 pesos. Nothing more than that. That is so much more than she would need to continue with her daily life, because she's already continuing with her life. And you told me in an earlier email that she hasn't asked you for any money and she's not going to. Well, why are you offering it then? So if she's not asking and there's no need, there's no reason to send it. So really look hard into your heart. The separation, the difference between a good relationship and a bad one is always money. It breaks down to the money. If the girl wants a lot of money from you and needs money to survive, then is she with you because you have money? So it's better that she's with you and not have money from you. that she's with you because she enjoys talking with you, and the anticipation of meeting you in the future is what's keeping her interested in you and being involved with you on a daily basis. She should always be asking you the right questions. You know, how did your day go? Did you eat? Are you feeling well? Tell her a few of your little problems you have during the day. See if she has concern. See if she really cares if you're having a problem. And does she follow up the next day? Like after you're talking and she goes to bed or whatever she does during the day, she thinks and says, wow, Harold, he's really having a problem today. And then when she talks to you the next day, she's bringing up, did you fix the problem? Is it better now? You know, say you had a flat tire on the highway. Oh, did you get your tire fixed? Did you, you sprained your ankle. Is your ankle good? If she's showing concern on a follow-up video or a follow-up chat or a text, that's all good signs. But if you tell her you're having problems, and then the next day you talk and she's only talking about, can you send me, 500 pesos or $100 or whatever amount, then that's all red flags. That's not good things. Need my morning coffee here all the time. But adequate money per month, zero is Janet's word. Do not send money until you meet in person. She tells this to so many good subscribers and viewers who contact us, and it's more of a personal, private message where they're looking for some advice. Janet's a firm believer, don't send anything. Don't send nothing. Me, you're sitting at home, you're having a ribeye steak that you just grilled on the barbecue, you got a baked potato going, you're drinking, your rum and Coke with your dinner, and then you're chatting her and she's showing you, I just had dried fish and rice. Guilt is going to set in. You're going to go, oh my God, I'm having this great food, and that's all she has. But what she has is what she's used to. That's her life, and you can't change it. Being, that knight in shining armor, that good guy that comes down the hill to save everybody, you can't do it in a long-distance relationship. Money, yes, money solves so many problems, but money also is the root of all failed relationships, especially the long-distance relationships. You get sucked into giving more and more money. And I'm not saying they're conning you into this. They're just telling you the hardships of their life, and you're feeling guilty, and you want to help them out. I remember one of the first girls I talked to, and she was collecting wood to burn to cook their meal on, and I felt so guilty. Here I have a microwave, I have a gas oven and a range, and take out food right around the corner. And I just felt so bad about that. But once I got here to the Philippines, I went to Janet's family's house, and they have 3 fires going, and they have the pots there, and they're cooking. That's the life. That's the life they have. That's what they like. I'm not saying they like or dislike, but that's just life. Where you turn on the gas stove, they put some wood in the fire and start the fire and start cooking. It's not a negative. It's not a positive. It's just life. And you can't change their life. Buying them stove or a refrigerator from 8,000 miles away isn't going to help anything. Chances are they, if it's real poor family, they won't use the fridge because it takes electricity. They won't use the stove because they have to buy the bottle of gas, and it's cheaper to go out into the forest and collect the wood to cook on that they're used to cooking with. They have heavier pots and heavier pans for that kind of cooking. So don't fall into that trap of, I have so much and they have so little. Use that to your advantage when you retire. Start saving money. Start preparing for the future. Start preparing for that life. If this relationship fails, there'll be another one. Start preparing for that life when you retire. And the more you save, the earlier you can retire. And the earlier you retire, the more and more you're going to enjoy your life here in the Philippines. The next part of it is, Harold said, do you think it's prudent to have a home there and here in the U.S.? When I finally retire, I want to live there because I am afraid she'll become too Americanized if I bring her to the U.S. Prudent to have a home in both. If you can afford it, yes. Yes. If you can afford to have your home in the States and live here, keep your home. And I'll give you a couple reasons why you should keep your home. One, what if you end up not liking the Philippines? You know, it's a big deal to come here to the Philippines and have nothing but your backpack and a couple bags and start over. You know, you're going to have to buy things. You're going to have to buy a mattress. You're going to have to buy, you know, a rice cooker, a coffee pot. You have to start from the beginning when you get here. You're going to have to buy some sort of transportation. When you rent, you're going to need 3 months rent, you know, 2 months security deposit, 1 month's first month's rent, sometimes only 2 months total, but be prepared for up to 3. If you have your home in the U.S., if you sell it, yeah, you have the cash. But is there any guarantee housing is going to come down in price? So say 5 years from now, you don't like the Philippines, you don't like the girl, you want to go back home, you're going back home with nothing. Yeah, you got money in the bank, but you don't have a car, you don't have a place to live. At least the place you live, if you can rent it, if you have a family member that can manage it for you or a rental management company, that'd be great, you know. The one thing I wish I would have kept my apartment in Las Vegas, because now here I am 70 plus. If I want to go back to the States with Janet, we have to start from ground zero. You know, we have nothing. If I still had the condo and I was renting it out, I could time it that when whoever's living there, the lease is up, we're moving in. And that's your biggest expense, is somewhere to live. So if you can afford both, do both. As for taking her home and her being Americanized, that's always a possibility. Now, the age difference there, you're in your 50s, she's in her 20s, so for you to get to 62, she's going to go from 24 to 32. And she's probably a beautiful girl, and she's going to be a great catch for you. She has an education, IT engineering. She's going to work in an environment, chances are she's going to work. She's going to work in an environment with other people her age, other men her age, other women her age, other Filipinas, other Americans. If your relationship is strong and you have no insecurities, I don't think you have a problem. But if you're insecure, if you start thinking, oh, I'm too old for her, you know, if people looking at you when you're walking down the aisle of Walmart bothers you, if these Walmart women who are in their dirty t-shirt and their sweatpants and curlers in their hair walk by and see this beautiful Filipina with you, an old guy, does their stare bother you? Then don't take her there. Americanizing the woman is very easy to do. She's going to learn, you know, working and a paycheck, taxes, how to spend money, how to buy things, how Amazon works, how credit cards work. She's going to learn all that stuff. And it's all going to be strange at first, but in time, it's going to be a good feeling because she's learning and growing, and she's learning a different culture, just like you here in the Philippines would learn the new Filipino culture. So a lot of that depends on your insecurities. If you're insecure of other people and how they think about you, and your relationship, if it's strong, it'll last. If you stay active with her, it'll last. One guy who gave up his relationship with a girl in the U.S., and he was in his middle 60s, and she was in her 20s. This was a big age gap. He was tired. Now he's retired, but he's tired. He's sitting at home. Now she's working. And then when she was done working, she would go out with her friends. They would go to a club or a bar and have a drink after work, listen to some music. And slowly she would start coming home later and later because she enjoyed the party life a little bit. She enjoyed hanging out with her friends. And it isn't that she didn't want to hang out with him. He just didn't want to hang out with her. He didn't want to go out at night. So then you're letting that sheep out there into the pack of the wolves. And so it's up to your insecurities and your ability to entertain and keep her engaged with you constantly. And that's going to be a hard thing to do for 7, 8 years. But first of all, it's going to take you about 2 years to get her there. So that puts you about 56, maybe 57. And then you have 5 years until you're 62, if that's when you're planning to retire. That's a tough question. Yeah, at her age, with her education, she will become Americanized. She will become a Western-style woman. Let's see. I don't see myself retiring for some time, but I also receive a military pension. Plus, my benefits would pass to her if anything happened. Well, now you're talking about marriage here. And like I said, you've only been dating or online relationship for two weeks. You're really getting way ahead of this. You're letting your fantasies take control of you here. I'm sure she's a great girl. She's a beautiful girl, smart. I'm hoping it all works out for you for all the best. But man, you're really putting the cart in front of the horse here, talking about stuff like this. You need to plan just coming here to visit her. And then after you meet her here, then the two of you have to decide, what are you going to do? Is she going to live here in the Philippines and you in the US for the 6 years? Or are you going to file for K-1 visa? Or the other alternative, she's going to become an overseas foreign worker. She's going to go work in Korea or Japan or the Middle East or Canada or somewhere else because she has a high level of education. So you have a lot of talking still to do. You have a lot of planning to do once you meet. Right now, you should just be concentrating on developing the relationship, feeling out the process, making sure everything is up and up, and check on everything when you get here. You won't really know everything until you finally land. When you finally retire and you want to live in the US, but you're afraid she'll become Americanized, how can I maintain her focus on her relationship and ensure that she won't be swayed away by smooth talkers? You can't. You can't. You can't. You're putting the chicken, the hen, the chicken out there with all the wolves. And it depends again on insecurities. The truth, if she really loves you, you have no worries. If you really love her, there's no worries. But man, it's so early in your development here. Like I said, only 2 weeks in. But for most guys, that big of age gap is to me is a negative going to the U.S. If you were in your 30s and she was in her 20s, I wouldn't be worried about that at all. You know, that's just going to be a regular marriage relationship, and it'll grow or not grow. Remember, the divorce rate in the U.S. is very high. And just because she's used to no divorce in the Philippines doesn't mean once you're married and in the U.S. she won't learn about divorces, she won't learn about the benefits of divorce and that kind of thing. So some of his other questions are, what's the best way to show her my appreciation? The best way is just keep talking to her, be nice to her, have a good heart, show an interest in her life, day-to-day life, her schooling, keep her motivated in her schooling, and keep her motivated in talking with you. And but don't drown her. Don't be calling her 100 times a day. She'll probably be calling you. Remember, you're the prize here. She's not the prize. You're the prize. And just don't be so desperate with this young lady. But show big interest in her, and she'll show an interest in you. Keep the lines of communication open. Have a regular routine of when you talk and when you don't talk. And just understand there's times when one party or the other is busy. A text message will come and you're busy. Or she'll get a text message and say, I'll get right back to you. But then next thing you know, she has to get on a trike or a taxi, go downtown, get in line at a government office, maybe pay a utility bill, and get tied up for a couple hours and not able to return the message. So keep the relationship open, keep your heart open, and keep your mind open. When I get there, what do you recommend as a first date? Lunch. Coffee, lunch. She's going to come to you. Once you arrive, she's going to come to you. I don't know where she lives in the province or in the city, but she's going to come to you, and when she gets there to you, go do something. But take a moment before you meet her to go to your hotel, shower, take a nap, you know, so when you see her, you're fresh and you're not overtired. And you'll be at your best if you take a nap prior to meeting her. Should I expect to pay for the entire village? Hell no. You should not expect to pay the entire village? No. So by saying there's a village, I'm going to assume she lives in the province. If you invite people to a meal, if you say, come here and I want to buy all of you dinner, expect to pay for the meal, and maybe even expect to pay for the transportation. If they took a Cirrus bus there, or they took a trike there, or whatever they did, they might not have the funds to go back. But you're the one making the invitation, so you'll be the one to pay the bill. What can I do to not become an open bank account while I visit? Keep your wallet tight, man. Don't hand out money to everybody. You know, nobody needs money from you when you get there. You know, they didn't need money from you the day before you first started talking to her. They don't need money from you when you arrive in the Philippines and meet the family. Some small gifts are nice. Food is nice, depending on you know, the financial situation of the family. Chances are they're going to want nothing, but if you offer, like I said, to buy them a meal, you will be paying for that. But don't offer money. Don't let people know you have a lot of money. It's a bad habit to start in the beginning. You have to set boundaries and ground rules in the beginning. And those boundaries can be just in your head, saying, no, I'm not giving anybody any money, or no, I'm not going to start giving an allowance to a girlfriend or sending money to the family. Definitely don't send money to the family. Definitely don't send money to the family. So guys, in the comments section, I hope all of you leave a comment to Harold to help him out with his situation here. The biggest thing here, takeaway from this, Harold, is you're too new in the relationship. It's only 2 weeks old. So enjoy your time talking to her, enjoy the video chats, enjoy the relationship as it develops, and hopefully it works out. A lot of relationships work out, especially those that meet on Christian Filipina. I'm finding a lot of them are working out. But be wise, keep your eyes open and your wallet tight.